Hello, and this will be a quickie. It's almost midnight. I'm the last one still awake, and during the last about 30 hours or so I've slept 3.5. I spent all night last night playing with ARP Odyssey, one of those classic synths or VST version of it. I don't have the money to buy the actual thing, but I was playing around with that and a few other kind of a classic synth emulations. I went to bed it was about noon when I went to bed, about 12 o'clock today. I slept 3.5 hours, and then I went shopping with my daughter. Her birthday is coming, so all the guests and stuffs, and she's pretty, I mean, I don't know if nifty. Let's just say that she knows what she wants what comes to cookies and all the other stuffs that are for the guests. So she came along, we went out to buy those, and then some ingredients for the cake, and so forth. Then when we came back home, I watched a few documentaries about 9 Inch Nails, because industrial music is something, well, I've listened to it, but I've never really digged into it. So all the actual gear, what are being used, because if you take a look at the drum machines and all that stuff, it seems that there are music genres that prefer certain gear, certain synths, certain drum machines, certain techniques, and I've never really got familiar how to make industrial music what comes to gear. So I spent a few hours watching those documentaries and digging around YouTube for demos for different drum machines and synths and whatever. Then I went out for a walk, and it's been snowing the whole day heavily. So we're snowbound! Susie Silks and the Banshees, Spellbound. Good song, don't know why that came to mind, but still. And now I'm here. And during the last few days I've been reminded how good of a tool this is. Just a regular iPad I bought years ago. My first iPad broke. It was iPad 2, and I dropped it and it stopped working. And I'm using GarageBand for different synths, and my way of doing GarageBand synths is probably a bit odd, because I play and record them to the iPad. Then I set up a Zoom H1, and I record what I've recorded to the iPad. I record it to Zoom H1 using the built-in microphones. So all the sounds are coming from these speakers, and that's lo-fi for you. And the reason I'm doing that is that most of the time what I'm doing with synths, with iPad synths, those are the upper parts of bass parts. So I'll double those same parts with a synth bass. So now I have the audio version. I know already what the tempo is, and then I just program the synth bass according to that. And that sounds a bit weird, because I could always just transfer. I don't even know if iPad can transfer MIDI files, but still, it gives kind of a lo-fi touch when you play it back through the iPad speakers and then record it with a microphone. I've used the same technique with cheap synthesizers with built-in speakers. I've mic'd up the speaker of the synth and then played the part, and you can get pretty unique tones, because most of those speakers are not all that well built, so there's all kinds of distortion and crackling, but it sounds good. Especially when last night I was working on a few ideas that I have, and it sounded too smooth. So I add I think it was Procol was the company, Rat Distortion Pedal. I added that to the synth parts, and then all of a sudden it started to make sense. So, but that's also something I've done quite a bit, using, for example, guitar amps or virtual guitar amps with synth amps or with virtual synths, and that also sounds nice. There's no need not to do something if it sounds good. I really think I should go to bed. But when we were shopping, it once again kind of hit when I remembered why we are shopping. I mean, I'm a father of a preteen, which means that I'm certain age, my parents are certain age. What happened to the last more than 10 years? Well, but it's kind of true what some people say, that when you're looking yourself in the mirror, you don't seem to age. I mean, you do over the decades, but you don't seem to age all that quickly. But when you look at your children, especially when they are small, that's a pretty powerful reminder that time goes on. No, time passes constantly. And that's kind of a bittersweet feeling when thinking about it. Although we all have to grow old, and that's what we do if we are lucky. But anyways, I'll go to bed, and hopefully we'll continue with a bit more energy tomorrow. So, see ya.